Good evening, and welcome to a new edition of Raven Sports Recap. Today we take you through the journey of brilliant seasons for the men's and women's basketball teams, the start of a brand new season of baseball, and some big news out of athletics. Right now, pride, passion, success, this is Franklin Pierce Athletics. Hello everybody and welcome. I'm your new host, Brett Bosley. We will begin with the team that I would most likely give Team of the Year so far this year in men's basketball. They have made a magical run going from dead last in the Northeast 10 Conference last year to winning the conference regular season championship last Tuesday, wrapping it up with a win over Merrimack. They finished in a first place tie with Adelphi, but gained the first place tiebreak after defeating Adelphi earlier this season. Then, as the Northeast 10 Conference playoffs commenced on Sunday afternoon at the Fieldhouse, the Ravens gained the number 1 seed for the tournament and survived a close 55-50 triumph over number 9 seed Assumption. 4 of Franklin Pierce's 5 starters scored in double figures, including 14 points apiece from freshman forward Ryan Vilmont and sophomore Ellis Cooper. Junior guard Eric Jean-Guillaume had a solid game with 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist and a steal. Senior center Damola Abu also chipped in with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, and steals. The Ravens held an early advantage at halftime by 9 points, but Assumption chipped away at the Ravens' lead and were able to cut it down to 3 points with 30 seconds to play. Assumption came down the floor and had forward Ronson Quick take a three-pointer from the top of the arc that bounced off to the right and was rebounded by Jean-Guillaume with 5 seconds left on the clock. He then proceeded to hit 2 free throws after being fouled to stop the clock, icing the game for the Ravens. Their next test will come this Wednesday as they will face UMass Lowell in the NE10 semifinals. The winner of the game will proceed to the conference championship game. Preceding that game on Sunday afternoon was the women's basketball team. Their chance to continue their run in the playoffs as they squared off against Southern New Hampshire University in the Northeast 10 quarterfinal matchup. Right from the beginning, the Lady Ravens dominated play as they held the Penman scoreless for the first 7 minutes as they jumped out to an 18-0 lead. From then on, the Ravens kept the pedal to the metal and ended up with a final score of 85-66. 4 Ravens scored in double figures, which included senior forward Marielle Giroux, who ended the game with 27 points and finishing 8 for 11 from the floor. Jewel White also contributed with a strong performance, recording her 9th consecutive double-double with 19 points and 15 rebounds. Junior guard Tiffany Johnson also chipped in with 11 points, while Brittany Martell also contributed off the bench with a couple three-pointers and ended with 10 points herself. This win for the Ravens puts them in the conference semifinals on Thursday, where they will have to travel to Waltham, Massachusetts and face arch rival Bentley at a chance to reach the conference finals. As both basketball teams concluded their seasons last week, the Northeast 10 released conference all-star selections. On the women's side, Marielle Giroux was named NE10 Defensive Player of the Year and was placed on the All-NE10 Second Team All-Stars. Teammate Jewel White was named to the All-NE10 First Team for the second consecutive season. For the men's side, freshman Ryan Vilmont was named to the All-NE10 Rookie Team, while teammates Ellis Cooper and Eric Jean-Guillaume were named to the All-NE10 First Team. That honor was not the only hardware Jean-Guillaume walked away with, as he was also named Northeast 10 Conference Player of the Year. He is only the second player in school history to receive such an honor, and the first player to earn the award since the school moved to the Northeast 10 Conference before the 2000 and 2001 season. Also getting recognition was men's basketball coach David Chadbourne, as he was named Northeast 10 Conference Coach of the Year. We'll take a quick break, but when we come back, we will check out 2 bombshells just announced from the athletics department and how the men's baseball team did in their recent road trip. So please stay tuned. Welcome back to Ravens Sports Recap. I'm your host, Brett Bosley. Just announced within the week by the athletics department, 2 Franklin Pierce coaches will be resigning from their helms. Men's soccer coach Craig Stewart and women's basketball coach Steve Hancock are both resigning from their head coach positions. Stewart is to take another head coaching job at Providence College in Rhode Island, a Division I school that participates in the Big East Conference. Stewart departs Ringe after 3 seasons where he compiled a record of 51, 8, and 6, which includes 2 Northeast 10 Conference championships and 3 NCAA tournament berths, which includes a trip to the Final Four this past season. Hancock will go down as one of the finest coaches to ever lead a Ravens sports squad. Under Hancock, the Lady Ravens hoops has seen success multiple times, while also seeing great athletes pass through the hardwood in the fieldhouse. Most notably, Joanna Leadham, who became the all-time scoring leader in Division II history under the guidance of Hancock. He will step down and take the assistant coach position for the Lady Ravens and hand the reins off to his current assistant coach, Jen Leadham, who also was a standout athlete under Hancock. Switching gears, the men's baseball team opened up their season this past week, traveling to South Carolina to play a string of exhibition games. The Ravens ended up with a 4-1 overall record on the trip, with many newcomers to the program stepping up and showing what they had to provide for what hopes to be a successful season for the Ravens. In the team's first 2 games against Post University, the Ravens recorded their only loss in the second game of the doubleheader. In the first game, Joe Flynn got the ball for the Ravens and tossed 5 2/3 innings in picking up the win. He finished with giving up 3 runs on 3 hits, walking 4, and striking out 9. The Ravens scored early with Dan Hennigan coming around to score in the top of the first inning after hitting a double, advancing to third on a ground out, and finally scoring on a sacrifice fly by newcomer James Roche. The game would be tied at 3 until the 7th inning when the Ravens exploded for 5 runs, capped by a 3-run home run by shortstop Dan Kemp. The Ravens would win the first game 10-3. In the second game of the twin bill, the Ravens would lose by a final score of 4-3. Graduate student left-hander Jack Crawford made his first ever appearance for Franklin Pierce, pitching 5 innings. He gave up 4 runs, which were all unearned on 3 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Dan Kemp had another solid game offensively for the Ravens as he finished the second game 4 for 6 with 2 runs scored and 4 RBI. The Ravens would sweep 2 games for Chestnut Hill College the following day by scores of 6-4 and 5-2. Matt Horn would come out of the bullpen in the first game to record the pitching victory for Franklin Pierce, while Rob Nicholas would record the last 2 outs of the game to record his 23rd career save. Freshman catcher Matt Walsh went 4 for 7 on the day, and grad student James Roche recorded his first ever home run as a Raven. In the second game, newcomer Vladimir Camacho would start and record his first win on the hill for the Ravens, and freshman Chris Doyle would pick up the save. The Ravens would then pick up their final victory in a single game on Sunday afternoon against West Virginia Wesleyan College, defeating them by a score of 2-0. Sophomore Ryan Leach would start and go 7 shutout innings, only allowing 3 hits and striking out 5 for the victory. Rob Blank would come in and pitch a perfect 8th inning, and Rob Nicholas would finish off the game in the 9th inning, recording his second save of the season. Dan Hennigan had a strong game for the Ravens, going 2 for 3, while freshman catcher Matt Walsh would go 2 for 4 on the day. The next action for the Ravens will be this Saturday, March 3rd, when they travel to Dowling for a non-conference doubleheader. To round out our show today, we will update you on the other upcoming Ravens sports in the spring. Men's lacrosse will be underway this Thursday against Curry College down at Sodexo Field. Women's lacrosse looks to have a promising season as they get underway shortly, along with softball, who will be making a trip during spring break. Then both men and women's tennis will also be underway shortly. Well, that is all the time we have for today's episode of Ravens Sports Recap. I'm your host, Brett Bosley. Tune in next week for your news and highlights on everything Ravens sports. Pride, passion, success. This is Franklin Pierce Athletics.